You know what's most interesting to me about listening to Shane Steichen and watching Shane Steichen talk about Anthony Richardson is the hit of a smile he gives when he does it. I think that's more telling than the words.
Yeah, I just think my philosophy is, when you practice against each other, I think that's how you get better, getting those full speed reps, going against the defense, offense and defense, and especially, special teams as well. I think when you get those full speed reps for everybody, it helps us get better as a football team. But pleased where the team's at, after the first week. We got a couple more weeks to go.
Shane, how do you plan on handling the reps between Gardner and Anthony during the spring?
Yeah, we've been splitting them up. Anthony's getting some reps with the ones, Gardner's getting reps with the ones, and that's how we're rolling right now.
Is that how you see it? Will it progress to where maybe one gets more? You're just going to see how this thing plays out?
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out during the spring, and then we'll go from there. Yep.
No Michael Pittman today. What was his?
He's actually having a baby.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a good excuse.
Yeah, it's a great excuse. So fired up for him and his wife, and all the best to them.
What about Josh Downs and Jelani Woods?
Yeah, Josh Downs, he's got a little bit of a knee issue, nothing major though, and I'll leave it at that. And then Jelani, he's got a little hamstring.
Like Kylan Granson had a nice day. Obviously, you're down some tight ends.
Yeah.
What did you see from him on film? What have you seen from him so far in the spring?
Gosh, he's got great route running ability. Really pleased where he's at. He understands the game of football really well, understands leverage, technique, all those different things, how to get himself open. Really pleased with where he's at in his route running ability and also as a blocker.
When it comes to giving the decision to give Anthony some of those first team reps, obviously he just got here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there was some conversation that went into that. What convinced you guys that he was maybe ready to take some of that on? Or
Yeah, I think with anything, you got a guy that's really talented that comes in and you want to see where he's at, so let's get him going early in the process and see where he's at. And so far, it's been a good process, and we're going to continue to do that.
It helps you, but it helps him, but it helps you guys, right? It sounds like that's what you're saying.
Yeah, there's no question, right? It's evaluations, right? We're evaluating everybody, not just him. The whole football team is being evaluated. But again, right, when you get those reps over and over and over again, you become a better football player, especially learning a new system, seeing different looks from the defense. Right, there's a lot of stuff that's going to get thrown at him, and along with everybody else, and that way we can judge and see where he's at.
You kind of see, with you going from the different phases of off season to now on the field, 11-11, can you see progression of players, whether it's Richardson or whomever?
Yeah, there's no question. I think when you take the classroom to the field, obviously you want to see how they learn in the classroom and can they take it onto the football field, and not just with the quarterback, but again, it is every position. And it's a great job for them to learn the system and get out there and go operate at a high level. And it's our job as coaches to teach them at a high level.
Shane, overall, how much do you view the spring as like a true evaluation period when you compare it to a training camp practice or something closer to the season?
Well, I think you're always being evaluated. I think every day is a job interview. I think every day is a job interview, and you're constantly being evaluated. I'm being evaluated. This whole organization is being evaluated, and I think the process that we go through from spring into training camp is a big deal, right? I think the things that the outside world doesn't see is the work that's done inside the building and on these practice fields. And I think anytime you can do the work inside this building and outside on the practice field, it's going to make us all better. So it's step by step, it's day by day, but this spring is a big time for us.
With Anthony so far, what have you seen from him taking things from the classroom to the field? How's that process going? You know
what? He's done a really nice job. I've been really pleased with where he's at mentally. He made some big plays today on the football field, made some great throws, great decisions, some next level stuff, that I've seen over the last couple of days. So really pleased with where he's at.
He kind of mentioned that, you guys have him doing some stuff he didn't do in college, 5-step drops out of the shotgun, that kind of thing. How do you see him take to some of that technical stuff, the fundamentals that you guys are teaching him?
Yeah, he's been great. I think, as a quarterback, obviously learning the system is a big part of it, you know what I mean? But it's knowing where to throw it, when to throw it, how to throw it, and I think he's taken on the coaching really well and understanding, the rhythm and the timing of the passing game and what we're trying to get accomplished. He's done a nice job.
Shane, is there any update on Shaq? I mean, he's at there watching. How is the rehab going?
Yeah, he's progressing well. Again, I don't have a timetable right now for you on that, but he's progressing well. He's doing a nice job.
One of the Rigo, the Sanchez.
Yeah, same thing, progressing well, no timetable on that. Yeah.
Shane, was it always the plan to kind of split stuff with Anthony and Gardner? Did Anthony show you anything here early on where you're like, okay, I'm up it from what I originally thought.
Yeah, no, the plan was to split it. That was it. Yeah.
Have you gotten much feedback from players so far about how they see Anthony and what they're seeing on the playing field so far?
Well, I know they've seen him as an explosive football player, you know what I mean? And just his ability to create is big, and then obviously he's got a strong arm to make the tight window throws. I think a lot of guys are, excited about him.
Braden Smith, what was,
He's got a little thing, he's just rehabbing on his leg, but nothing major. Nothing major.
In reaction to the rule on the kickoffs, the fair catches,
Yeah, I don't. I think, when rule changes happen, you go with them, and everyone's on the same playing field. That's the way I look at it, and that was the rule that was made, and, I don't have a reaction for it, but that's what it is.
Do you view the returner as more of I need a guy back there from a decision-making standpoint that maybe takes on a little bit more prominence because the fair catch is now involved?
That's a good question. I think it's a game-by-game basis, really. All decisions are made throughout the week of a game week, and so depending on that game week, we'll make our decisions on how we're going to attack that.
How have you seen Gardner just kind of show Anthony Richardson how it's supposed to be done? You said that was a big thing for him. Just since they've been integrated together.
You know what? It's been great. Gardner's done a hell of a job, kind of taking him under his wing, in that quarterback room. Obviously he's got experience. He's played, a ton of games in this league. But he's done a really nice job. Really pleased with where he's at, with everything we're doing on offense, and the same thing helping Anthony at the same time.
How much of the decision to sign Gardner, which you have input in, obviously, was based around the fact that you knew what his role would involve, right? It might involve a young quarterback.
There's no question about that. But I also think that Gardner, has done a lot, and obviously being around him and what he's capable of, and just his brain and how it functions. He loves football. And that's a big part of it, and it's a big plus for me to be around a guy that I know personally at that position, that knows the system, I know how he operates, he knows how I operate. It definitely helps.
Shane, how can you evaluate development or improvement in the trenches this time of year when you're not fully wearing pads?
Yeah, no, it's tough. It definitely is tough. We got to get a lot of that in the individual periods. Tony does a heck of a job with those guys, the offensive line, and then same thing with the defensive line with Nate and Raish over there, getting that stuff, in the individual period, because it is hard. It is hard when you don't have pads on. You got to be smart. You got to be safe. You got to stay up, and take care of each other.
What have you seen from Freeland, though, just getting a chance to be with that first unit?
Yeah, no, Freeland's a big, powerful man, just to get him in there, athletic, he can move. Just pleased where he's at. It's still early, but he's a smart player, understands the game, understands, takes coaching well, but like where he's at.
That's Shane Steichen, and if you're smiling about Anthony Richardson, you're not alone, because Shane Steichen is too. Anthony Richardson is a guy who does things kind of easy. He releases it easy, he runs easy, he does it all in the way great athletes do things. Some guys, they have to play too hard to be good. Anthony Richardson is not one of them.